Hello, good morning, happy Sunday everybody. My name is Keith and welcome to the Sunday morning train ride episode number 17. We are in Bochum on Rhein-Ruhr to Hauptstrecke Rhein-Ruhr route today, and let me think where we are. Let me quickly position myself. Yeah, so I already know where we're. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Dortmund is that way, and Essen is that way. At least I think so. Oh, there is a thing I quickly run over to. Check, is it discovered? Well, slowly walking over. Well, yeah, talking to you. Feel free to do whatever you do during the mornings. No need to watch me. Just, you know, listening is good enough. As it is the same as every other Sunday morning train ride. Meaning nothing to. I'm not going to do nothing, but just basically talk about stuff. Today I'm going to tackle my head, my brain. So that might be a fun to some. The others not. There's a little disclaimer actually I should do. If you have certain issues, then maybe I mean, with depression, maybe it's the best if this train we are catching, by the way, over there. It is the best if you don't come on this particular journey, but at the same time, well, maybe you should, since I'm going to. Oh, that's discovered over there. Since I am briefly going to touch up, you know, I'm speaking about my own experiences. Maybe you may find it helpful, though I have not intended that to be any way helpful nor harmful, nor just tackling my own brain. But I'm not keeping it too much, you know, doom and gloom, somber, as I did struggle a little bit, let's say this way, but well, the idea is not, you know, being all about somber and stuff in this episode in any way, shape or form, even though it may feel like it. But at the end of the day, you know, positivity is the kind of a thing. Another thing, but you know, is going to be is I'm tackling my brain by talking about stuff that affects all of us currently. Let's say this way. Nice one. Maybe I can get both on a frame to have a little picture. That would be a nice thing, don't you people think? That looks funny. Anyway, and I chose this one to travel on this one, since I don't think I've actually traveled on Sunday morning train ride with class 425. I think so. Well, I've definitely done the S-Bahns one, but not with this one. You're going to Hum, and you are going eventually to Mönchengladbach. All the people, so typical, all the people are waiting here. You know, closer to the stairs and to the entrance to get on a train. It's so typical, isn't it? So typical. Absolutely beautiful. Anyway, feel free to have grab a coffee or maybe even a breakfast. And I thank you very much for you. Actually, I'm honored if you join with me on this episode, just as I am on previous Sunday morning train ride episodes. Obviously there wasn't Sunday morning train ride last week, but that doesn't mean that it's suddenly stopped, because it didn't, honestly. So there is a Sunday morning train ride this week, obviously, as you are watching it, and most probably next week as well. But there will be gaps for various reasons time to time, like last week for example. For various reasons. Some of the reasons are mental health issues. Some of the reasons are I'm busy. You know, which I hope I eventually can be once the society has opened up and vaccinations are well underway, which still, you know, it's, they give us the numbers and they say it's on the way, but we all know that it could and should be a lot better. It's kind of the feeling what adds to the hopelessness, you know, this low amount of vaccinations, different not quite news, but different information that goes around, lots of rumors. I shall do another episode with so much different information, false information, right information going on. It's basically media, press, journalists. I am looking at you at the moment. Do your job a little bit better to keep people informed, as they should be, because I understand media has done its best, but it still is. It is as it is. Could be better, let's say this way. And that's said by a... Shall we go to first class? I don't fancy first class today, especially as it's so... Oh, nice suit. Especially it's crowded over there. To all other part of the train's relatively empty. Right. Or should I... No, I don't want to sit that way. I want to sit towards there. Oh, okay, that's not really comfortable. But yeah, that's nice. But yeah, hi darling. Let's leave that. That. Well, truth is fine. All right, maybe here. Maybe here. Let's be here. Let's be here. Look out. The beautiful radio. DB. What time is it? Oh, we are about to leave soon. How soon? I don't know. I think 35 minutes past, 36 minutes past. It is, by the way, morning. As you can see, 9:35 in the morning, and it is Sunday, and it is spring. And it is springtime. So that's nice. So yeah, journalists, press, media, you should do your job better, and you know, so we won't have that much false information and rumors on Facebook. Thank God I do not have a Facebook account. Otherwise I will go crazy. And I'm not lying. So, right, let's see. It is difficult, it is hard, it is unimaginable, yet we all are living it. A year on from the start, the horror, the distancing, the constant restrictions, the world as we know it, the liberties we hold so dear, our basic values, all gone. Now, from 1 year since the start of the pandemic, it feels more and more normal. Everything feels just normal. Yet, it is not normal. It does feel like it. 1 year ago, the world was a very different place. With just 1 year, I feel like, as to many other people, that we probably have lost more than anyone could have ever imagined. How much exactly? No one knows. Impossible to tell. The future will give us the answers, but not before we have been dealing with what is to come. That is to deal with the aftermath of the pandemic. In some areas, the world is trying to get back to some kind of normal with some kind of success. But what is normal? Do we anymore know what the normal is? The new normal? Fact is, we can speculate, but it is far too early to say. We just do not know. What we do know is that the hope so far is pretty much far away, and this year it will not get better. 2021 will be better than 2020, as we know more and kind of predict and calculate, but it is the year that is probably best to cross off and look in further years instead. In other words, the year of the darkness and emptiness, but from the darkness there will be a light to come through, as eventually every night turns to day. Sometimes the night lasts for 50 years, sometimes only 24 hours. It is already March and I am like, already? Haven't even done anything this year yet. Not because of lack of time, but there is nothing to do. At the same time, there is always something to do, even when there is nothing to do. Like videos, learning, reading, so on. Yet it feels like this year has been lasting for at least 6 months already. Interesting, isn't it? Could it be that the fear has taken over? Me pondering about those things is actually a good sign. If I put myself back 1 year ago, I was in a very different state mentally. Worse. A lot worse. Now I'm afraid. I'm thinking about the things that affect all of us. It is interesting. To me at least. Last year was one of the most difficult years in my life without pandemic, and yet now it doesn't see that anymore. It is strange. Mentally I have gone huge steps forward, no doubt in that. And in a sense, pandemic was helpful in that regard, as it did shift my focus from myself to others. I did jump on planes, trains, and even on a ferry during the lockdown and after the lockdown. Definitely, the pandemic did mess up many things I wanted to do and achieve last year, but at the same time, it makes some trips I had last year that much more special, to be honest. If you are wondering where I am trying to get with all of this, then please don't, as I don't want to get anywhere with this. I'm just writing down and talking about my thoughts or what I am thinking without filtering myself too much. Not trying to hold on for a thought nor anything like that, just thinking out loud as you were. Now, pandemics have come and gone in the past, and it will never change in the future. Especially with global warming that makes the ice melt in the Arctic, and with that are melting bacteria and microbes that are millions of years old. That is the scientific fact. How do we see the current pandemic in the future is probably similar to how we see the previous pandemics, with one difference. That difference is our connectivity to the world, our technology. How that will look like in the future is not for me to discuss, but for all of us to see in the future. I have no doubt that it will leave its mark, good way and bad way, both of which we are unable to look at and study, since we all need to deal with the aftermath of the pandemic once it's over. For the pandemic to be over, it can take years to pass, yet as different regions are developed differently. So once it is over here, it will not be over there. We in Europe are relatively blessed, but still some huge mistakes have been made, and now we see those mistakes showing themselves. It is not a bad thing though, for as long as we do acknowledge the fact that there have been made some serious mistakes, as we can learn from them and use them in the future by not making those same mistakes. That is as round as I can really put it. Anyone can. Oh yes, I do hear the whispers with occasional shouts about human rights, with the same person vandalizing at the same time. That brings us to education and what we took for granted. I mean, we all know that our ways of life was not sustainable in the long run, as it was in 2016, and that pandemic has proved that. The world has suddenly changed so much, almost beyond recognition by this point, bringing many more problems and in many aspects showing how fragile we humans can really be. Last year, when the pandemic hit and we had lockdowns, I did bring my own fight with depression as an example countless of times to help to explain what I have been going through and living since 2018. It is a cruel example, but it did work, as now people who had no idea of the effects of depression suddenly saw and lived it through firsthand, thanks to the lockdown. Isolation, dark clouds, no hope, and unable to feel joy, love, see beauty, and so much more. Now I see those same people coming around and having the mental health issues of their own. Suddenly people who were perfectly healthy now, what did I feel when I was at my lowest? Suddenly people who were perfectly healthy now feel what I did feel when I was at my lowest, yet they will never understand, as now it is more common than ever. It has become normal, a new normal. Yet again, in a way, it makes me feel isolated, as even though I am still battling with it, I have had so much improvement within 1 year towards healing that the roles are almost reversed. Now, obviously I have a problem with anxiety now, and that is a very good problem to have, For me personally, I am not walking on the street and having panic attacks anymore and freaking out when someone looks at me. Plus, there are some new problems for me I have to deal with mentally as well, and for me it is all good. So the progress I have made through the pandemic is huge, bigger than anyone could have expected in the circumstances. As we are in Essen. Hello, welcome to Essen. It's nice to see traffic. It really is. And pretty soon we will have Intercity 101 on this route as well. How soon? It remains to be seen, but I'm looking forward to it. I also do like to have an anxiety problem, as I do not see it as a problem. Obviously it does worry me to some extent, and I do have to take care of it, but it is a challenge for me. It is a pretty difficult challenge, but still a challenge, and it is a nice challenge to have, to be honest. Well, what is probably not the best way, that is probably not the best way to put it, but I hope you got my point. Better to deal with anxiety than being in the darkness of the depression, as with anxiety I can enjoy the things I did not enjoy during my lowest point with depression, like being able to feel the joy from the things I like doing. That feeling is priceless and does have a whole new perspective to me now. That means I do not take the joy for granted anymore, nor the feeling of joy. In that sense, it is pretty fitting that we have the pandemic going on. At the same time, all of that has had a pretty huge price. That price is I am fundamentally still alone and probably lost more than I ever wished to admit to anyone. Feeling hopelessness is another thing, and it kind of is normal to feel that way, considering what we are going through. That feeling is also affected by our different social statuses and financial security, to be honest, and right now I do feel that hopeless feeling more than I would like to, in any sense imaginable. It is perfectly normal and understandable, yet that feeling is completely different from when I was at my lowest point mentally while fighting depression. It doesn't make me numb, but emotional instead. Crying. It is not painful as it was. It is just emotional. That is a very good thing, though it is not good to feel like being hopeless in a hopeless situation, because it is not actually a hopeless situation. It is just a feeling that is triggered by many other factors, and feeling insecure and unsafe are one of those factors, both financially and socially. Plus, being alone, having no family, definitely adds to that in a big way. But I am not alone, and while feeling like that now, I know that sooner or later I will see my mom again, and things get better, and the world will open up eventually. Hence why I can't wait for a vaccine. Anxiety is also triggered by the fact that there are a bit too many people who just do not care, and right now I am sitting in a quarantine kind of circumstances for not my fault. Meaning, I do everything not to catch the virus, but someone else did come to work who had it, and now no work, left alone, and even worse, no pay for sitting home, no financial support, and that adds to the feeling of hopelessness as it affects my financial security that already has been on its last legs. This is just one thing, yet I am saying it is a good thing. Well, yes, it is if you consider where I have been with my mental health in the last 3 years. Plus the future, what is going to be like? What is that going to be like? To me, I know that I emerged from the pandemic a far stronger person as when it all started. No doubts about that. With hits and life-altering moments, life-changing moments, that is encouraging, to be honest. Yet at the same time, I am still in the beginning and in the phase of baby steps. I am not saying that I will recover from depression. I may never recover and most likely will not, but I will be in a lot better place than I was. Healthier, happier and stronger. Still quite a long way to go though. Me trying to look for new possibilities, opportunities, is also showing that I am in a far better place than I was, and probably in a pretty good position once the pandemic is gone. In a pretty good position in a sense of moving forward and continuing my journey in different aspects in my life. I am not locked down in a lockdown after all. Maybe in the future I should take a closer look at what good the pandemic has brought, as there are also a lot of good. Things that in a way we thought are not productive and practical has actually turned out to be the opposite. So it is not all doom and gloom, but there is also a bright side to all of that. I guess in my own way that is what I am trying to say. Maybe. Honestly, I do not know. We'll see. Who knows? With pandemic, just remember one thing. We can all affect it and contribute for a better future by making this thing go away by simply keeping ourselves safe, by keeping others safe. In other words, while it is pretty much different from as it was, keep others safe to keep yourself safe. Little pause for thought. Welcome to the I know that place. Mülheim, yes, of course, Mülheim. Mülheim am Ruhr, Hauptbahnhof. Welcome to Mülheim. It's beautiful here. It's probably the most beautiful part of the route, Mülheim. Maybe not. Oh. Well, the distance... Well, yeah. Distance probably between Essen and Bochum is very beautiful as well. Anyway, Mülheim, beautiful place on this route. This route is beautiful route on its own. And yes, I am avoiding the what I was just talking about with a purpose. If you wish to engage with me, then feel free to do that, to do so in the comment section, because now it's a good time to say that we are doing this series together, Sunday morning train ride stuff, and you can pretty much influence it where it goes, what I'm talking about, you know, stuff like that. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, because this is the best best position, the best place to ask questions, basically. Since it's the best opportunity for me to use it also as a Q&A session. The whole Sunday morning train ride kind of thing, and after all, it's kind of a podcast kind of thing, not you know, as you probably have accustomed to know, since I do some kind of filtering, but I do not do too much filtering, and I do talk about whatever. So pretty much trailing in my brain without thinking about it too much. That's why so many things may not make any sense, and it is designed that way, so you can think with me, basically. And I like that way. It's really good and kind of liberating, actually. I mean, I'm not locked down in one certain thing I have to do, but it's like, you know, keeping things wide open. The best thing. This route looks so beautiful during the spring. It's like, it's best looking during the spring, isn't it? Last spring I was just amazed of this route. While during the winter this route looks pretty much not good, but it's just well, you know, it's I do love this route, so you know me. If not, then it's like, you know now. Let's put it this way. And I do like the rolling stock, and it's nice to travel with this rolling stock, actually. If you look straight, you see it. You see through the train and everything. Welcome to Duisburg, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Duisburg. I'm going to spend some more time on this route. You know, having some fun, going up and down. But as we do arrive to Duisburg, well, have arrived to Duisburg, I wish to thank you for joining with me on this journey, and I really do hope you did enjoy it. Please feel free to leave like and subscribe if you want to see more, and also don't forget that you know, stay good and positive and hopeful for, you know, things. I'm very much honored that you joined with me on those Sunday morning train ride episodes, because they are, to me, they are special for various reasons. I think in the future I should talk more about it, why they are special at some point. But until future, once again, thank you very much. My name is Keith, and until next Sunday, morning train ride. I wish you a very nice week. And by the way, tomorrow is International Ladies' Day, so happy International Women's Day to all ladies out there from my heart, including hello mom. See you next time.